Hello everyone, my name is Zeotrex, and today we're taking a look at Supergirl. Supergirl, based off the Tom King comic Woman of Tomorrow, which I have back here, focuses on Kara Zor-El, who is roped into an adventure with Ruth, who is seeking revenge against the man who killed her family, Krem of the Yellow Hills. After Krypto is shot, time begins ticking as they work together to stop Krem, whilst bonding on the way. So I wasn't as excited for this movie as I was for Superman, because and the DCU hype kind of died down. We're in it now. It's like Supergirl is the second installment in the DCU and is noticeably the first project within the DCU to not have Gunn involved with the writing and directing. I think he might still be creatively involved in some way because he is the CEO. So this was something exciting to just see how the DCU could look with the input of other people. But as for why I wasn't as excited, well, the hype of the DCU settled down and we entered it. So now we're just here for the ride. Unfortunately, though, in terms of whether or not how the DCU is going to look with other people's creative inputs than just James Gunn, this is not a very good first look at that. Supergirl is sadly the DCU's first misstep. The universe is over, cancel the whole thing and restore the Snyderverse. I don't think it's that big, but I do think Supergirl was a bit of a letdown, and just kind of concern on how some future DCU projects will be. I don't think the universe is done for it yet, but this isn't what this universe needs right now. You know, this is not what we need the second film into the universe. It's just uninspired, it's just unengaging, and not impactful. I don't think it's like garbage. I wouldn't say that far. There's definitely worse DC movies out there, such as The Flash and Black Adam, but it definitely is a major step down from Superman, and it just doesn't feel like the movie just doesn't really feel like anything. But I will get into what I did like about the movie first, and that is Millie Alcock is great as Supergirl, as Kara Zor-El. While I do have issues with how she is portrayed in this movie, which I will get into later in the more negative side of things, she's really good casting as Supergirl when she gets that moment to actually shine as Supergirl, because that's something in the movie is that she's not really Supergirl. She kind of has to earn her suit, and I'll get into that. But when she's not the bumbling drunk party girl, that I do think it's a bit much, but it makes sense, and I do like what they do with her character here. It's when she gets the time to shine, she gets the time to shine, and that's really just what this movie's strongest suit is that it has a really good cast. Millie Alcock, again, I think is great as Supergirl, and David Corenswet's Superman shows up, and it's a very small role. It's also not spoilers. We saw this in the trailer, and you know when he's just showing up and just helping Kara out, it's nice. It's very like. It continues to prove that he was a really good choice for Superman, and I just loved all the scenes he was in, just how humble and kind and nice he is. But let's talk about like one of my favorite castings of the movie, Lobo, the main man himself. Jason Momoa is Lobo, like literally is Lobo. It's a role he has campaigned for years and years, and he does have a smaller role in the movie, and honestly not an important role in the movie, but his costume design is on fucking point, and just I see a lot of people say that he's just playing himself. Hey, himself is Lobo, so I think he's a much better pick for Lobo than he is as Aquaman. And that's just where all the pros of the movie ends. When I was writing the script, I realized, damn, I really didn't like much about this movie, huh? Again, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's rather just like a movie, you know? So, full disclosure day, I've actually not read Woman of Tomorrow. So, I picked this up. It was a free comic book day. I picked it up, and I did read the first issue, but I haven't read the full comic yet, and I do intend to do it. I'm going to pick it up next time I go to the comic store. So I can't talk about, like, how it is as a comparison to the source material, but I'll get into something that I do know about. It just feels so empty and forgettable. It has no impact on anything it is trying to tell you about. It has themes, but they don't hit, and it has emotions, but they don't but they feel fake. It's such a cookie cutter story that just underwhelms me so much. Krem as the main villain is just fucking terrible. He does things for the sake of being evil, yet there's no actual weight behind it. It's more so just shock value. And the design is garbage, and all he does is just make me cringe anytime he's on screen because it's honestly worst performance of the movie. And he doesn't feel like a big threat. It just feels such a generic and bland ass villain. The movie also, I'm sorry, just looks so fucking ugly. There's times where it does look good at points, and that's when they let color shine in. But it just has this brown and muddy look to the movie that just isn't. I've seen some of the artwork in the comic. Let me actually just open this up and kind of. Hey, look who's on the back here. Just like the artwork within the comic itself is just so gorgeous. Again, I haven't read this, but I have looked at sorry, I'm just getting a bit distracted, but I'm trying to find a good it's just maybe not the comic is full of color, it is full of it just has some beautiful artwork that really doesn't show up in the movie, especially that last act. We'll get to that last act. Millie Alcock, again, I think she is a good choice for Supergirl. I just think the fact that she's this drunk party girl throughout the entire movie is just way too much. It's not what I wanted to see, and I get why she is like that, and that does fit for her character, but I would have liked to see something a bit more serious, rather than her trying to be Jack Sparrow. And again, the way it handles the themes it's trying to present are not handled well at all, such as the fact that there's child trafficking in the movie, and it's themes about trauma, and what happened to you when you were little, or why should we care about Crypto if you're gonna show us him and Kara meeting after he gets shot, and show us why Kara cares about Crypto? I mean, yeah, we care about him because he's a cute puppy and we don't want to see the dog die, which we know he's not going to die because, come on. But and the relationship between Ruth and Kara also barely feels as developed. And, despite my praises for Lobo, he just adds nothing to the story. Maybe this is a syndrome that he just wasn't in the comic book, and I think maybe it's just testing the waters, hey, you guys want to see Lobo in the future? I think he does make up for it just by being a pleasant scene stealer. And again, going back to Kara, another big issue with this movie is that they just never let Kara just be Supergirl. They do the fucking thing where she's not wearing her suit for most of the movie, and then for the final act she puts it on. We had a whole ass movie where Superman was just in his suit, walking around with his undies on the outside, which they joke about in this movie, just being Superman. It is 2026. Can we please stop this shit where they need to earn their suit? A suit she was wearing at the end of the last movie. The fuck? This isn't an origin story. It kind of is, but again, they also find this way to constantly depower and nerf her throughout the entire movie. She's never given just a chance to just show off her full powers. It's oh, we're on this planet that has a really specific type of sun, so I can't use my powers unless we're on a yellow sun. And oh no, I was poisoned. Oh no, there was kryptonite. Oh no, all of this shit. It's we had a move. The last movie just had he was weakened at times, but it never felt like he was being nerfed. It felt like he was just going up against opponents of his skill level, that were stronger than him or as strong as him. Whereas here, it's falling into the kind of concern about a Superman movie or a Superman game where it's okay, how do we make this interesting if the guy's just going to be technically immortal and invincible? I think there's ways that you can make that work, but it doesn't work here. I don't like it. And the soundtrack for this movie is so bland and forgettable. So they have Call Me throughout all the marketing and whatnot. It doesn't play in the movie. The needle drops are honestly just not good, and the one at the end was fucking horrible. Oh my god, what the hell were they thinking? And this is kind of, I think, the film's biggest issue. It is not a James Gunn movie, but it is trying to be a James Gunn movie. We are not getting an original creative voice here. We are seeing someone trying to mimic the style of someone else. And because of that, the movie is hurt. Maybe this is one that James Gunn should have directed himself, because it's so obviously trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy. You're turning Kara into Star-Lord, and you're having them set on these planets that look very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy. You're giving her a Walkman. It's like, why? You're not James Gunn, so why are you trying to mimic James Gunn's style? And because of that, a lot of it just feels flat on its face. Again, I think maybe if Gunn did direct this one, it could have been good. But that's contradicting to what I was saying earlier. I don't want this entire universe to just be James Gunn films. I like the guy. I loved Superman. I loved the Guardians films, and I loved the Suicide Squad. But it's not going to be healthy for the DCU long term if everything is just going to be his movies. And while he does have a creative input on it, he is the CEO of the universe. It's like, we need to see some other voices in here, and we are getting them. We're getting Lanterns later this year, which I think looks okay, and we're getting Clayface, which, hey, I'm hoping proves that it can work, because I loved what I saw of Clayface so far. But the script, I'm getting concerned, because now, from what I hear, the scriptwriter, who I should probably actually Google, who wrote Supergirl? I know Tom King was involved. Fuck that guy. Anna Nogueira? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Anna's writing the Wonder Woman movie for DC, for the DCU. And, I want Wonder Woman's movie to be good. I think Wonder Woman deserves a lot better than what she's getting right now. And Teen Titans, I think the Teen Titans deserve. I hope this makes them learn a lesson and whatnot, because, damn, man, this is just not what it needs. There's just more, again, I assure you, there's worse DC films than this. Supergirl isn't as bad, but it is sadly a bit of a misstep in our journey into the DCU, one that I do think they can recover from relatively quickly. Millie Alcock is great for Supergirl, and Jason Momoa is great as Lobo, whereas the movie barely holds a punch. Oh, and this fucking final act sucked so badly. It looked terrible. It was just messy. It was incoherent. I was losing it. That needle drop, that final act was just baffling and terrible. The movie does, however, end on a bit of a sweet note, and overall, I think it's just an okay film. I'm going to give Supergirl a C. Alright, so not much to talk about in spoilers, because I don't want to talk about it, because I don't know. I got my thoughts out. There wasn't like a post-credits to really talk about. So, my next review, I'll have to see what's coming out. Let's see. July stuff. July movies. Probably Spider-Man. July 2026. Maybe Evil Dead. I'm going to try having some other stuff thrown in here, just to kind of test the waters, maybe some gameplay, but until then, look out.